Welcome everyone. Thanks for your attention and your time on this Monday, the 23rd of January, to our very, very first trading update at Naga. My name is Benjamin Lubitsky. I'm the CEO of Naga and the founder since 8 years already here in the company. So I'm dinosaur already for Naga. Recently, especially after last year, I've decided a bit to make sure that everyone who is a shareholder of Naga or wants to become a shareholder or follows Naga, might be press, might be bankers, etc., or investors in general, have a better overview of what Naga is really doing and how we are trading. So that's why it's called Trading Update. For everyone who might ask themselves why it's called Trading Update, it's because we are a public company and everyone wants to see where we are trading at in terms of operation performance as well. So think of it as a company update. Also, we decided to do that on a very frequent basis. So this initial webinar will be a bit longer than the following ones. And the following ones I'll be updating a bit. And in this one, I will explain a bit more like what we do, what you guys can expect from the webinar, etc. So that's basically where we will start today, and I will launch the presentation. However, before I start as well, I will launch a poll right now, and I want to know from you guys who is a shareholder and who's not a shareholder or who's planning to be one, right? So you should see a pop-up down there. Would be great to understand the audience. I see already, 50, 60 answers. So let me just have a view because it's very interesting. So I see that close to 50% of the participants here are shareholders. Very, very nice. I'll wait, of course, until everyone has answered. In the meantime, I will launch the presentation. And after the presentation, there will be a Q&A. Okay, so you can ask me anything you like. You should see a Q&A box below that you can type your questions. And Kasia, who is also here in the webinar, she will basically pick 5 to 10 questions, and I will try to answer them briefly. And also after the webinar, we will use an AI tool, which will transcribe everything that I am saying here and translate it into multiple languages and send you the transcript to your email inbox, because we love the AI stuff as well. So without further ado, let us start. And yes, I'm launching now the presentation here from the Naga Trading Update. So you should see that one. We're going into the slideshow now. So once again, welcome. 23rd of January today, Monday. We'll be talking about our company. So what can you expect? The format is really 30 to 45 minutes, followed by a Q&A. I try to keep it concise because, attention span goes usually very quickly down. I want to give you a transparent view of how we as Naga perform as a business. Also to give you a better understanding month over month, where we see developments, where we see trends, where we see good things, but also bad things. We have to be extremely open and fair and balanced if we see really good developments, also bad developments where we're concerned. Also management view on the latest news as well and the development trends in general, because sometimes you would read a press release, but there's so much interpretation to it that I just want to make sure that everyone understands how we look at it. And of course, as I said, the Q&A with me personally, I will always hold them myself. Our goal, make sure that you understand what we're really doing, and we want to provide highest level of transparency. I think all of you who are invested in the stock market know that the last year was really rough. And I guess that one really beneficial way of interacting with shareholders is communication, transparency, right? So I think that gives people much more confidence in a company, or gives them a better decision if they want to stay in a company or divest from a company. So let's start with the news. First of all, we had an ad hoc publication. Ad hoc publications we're legally obliged if we see something that might affect the share price development. So we are in discussions to pursue a strategic transaction with a multi-country brokerage firm. Obviously, they're on a no-name basis. All I can say is, we are in discussions and there might be potentially a merger so of two companies. We will stay listed in any case on the stock exchange, and obviously in these discussions there's a due diligence process actually, when you really assess each other as a company, if there's a fit, if there are issues, if there are any difficulties, or if everything is clear. And then obviously regulatory approvals are to be followed as well, because obviously we are regulated in multiple jurisdictions, the same as a multi-country brokerage, as you might assume. And if it comes to that, point where both companies agree that they would like to move forward, obviously then regulators need to also give an approval. So we are in discussions, and we have announced it so that shareholders understand that something on the M&A side is happening. Obviously, Naga share price has been was quite decreased, so it's very attractive for some companies to explore opportunities, as we have a very, very advanced technology platform and a very advanced product suite that not everyone has. I think it's logical that some companies that maybe have a good cash position look at other companies. Then I would like to also make a quick walkthrough to our brand new website, because as an initiative for creating more transparency and making sure that everyone understands what's happening, we have updated our webpage. Yeah, our webpage has been a bit dormant for the last couple of months. It looked all the same. So we pimped a bit the design. Yeah, we made sure that you have monthly trading webinars that you can directly participate. There will be updated numbers at glance as well. There's a newsroom where you have all the news in German and English that you can, read. And we have an improved IR section as well. I might even make a new share here. Let's go quickly to have a look here. So we see here the current share price, which is up by 30% today. We see our product ecosystem, what we really do offer, and I will speak about it a bit more, because if you invested, you will know. But you see, we kind of improved it also as a feed. Happy Chinese New Year, by the way, for everyone who's from China and watching. And then you have the company, who we are, also a bit more, that, to see the management, supervisory, but also the core management team, and our timeline as well, how we developed over time. The newsroom, which might be of interest to everyone, because there are all the news in English and German that are either ad hoc news publication or corporate news that you can see and share. And then you have investor relations with financial and core KPIs, very transparent over all our core KPIs. Now it's the first time that we release all of them. Then you have the financials, ad hoc publication, financial reports, etc. Research, whatever you like to see from a good group website. And obviously, again, on the monthly trading updates, very important. We have everything scheduled already, 9th March, February, April, May, and June. So you have a full schedule here. You can join all the webinars, and also here will be the recordings of this webinar as well. So let's jump back to the presentation, because this was a small update about our webpage that will be kept always up to date. And make sure you sign up for the newsletter, because then you get any information very quickly to your inbox from us. Again, what is Naga actually doing? I know, because if I look at the results now from the poll, let's see if we can. So I have here 40% of you are shareholders, yeah, and 33% are not, but 30% want to become shareholders. So actually, I'm talking now to an audience of 60% of explaining you once more, what is Naga actually doing? So first of all, we offer 3 different verticals, yeah, which are standalone companies. We have a brokerage with Naga Trader, where you can buy and sell stocks. You can long them, you can short them, you can trade it with, like in any banking brokerage, you can become shareholder of different companies, you can trade CFDs, and you can invest. Multiple payment methods all across the world, clients over 100 countries, multi-language, 14 languages. So we are not only focused on one market, we're really focused on a global market. Then we have the payment arm, which is Naga Pay. You get from us a Visa card, you get from us a banking account, like a payments account, IBAN account, and it's integrated into our brokerage. So from your Visa card, you can directly invest into the stock market using Naga brokerage, but also you can participate in the crypto markets by depositing and withdrawing cryptocurrency physically via the blockchain using Naga X So Naga Pay basically has Naga Trader and Naga X integrated. Naga X is our crypto platform that allows you to store crypto, any crypto. At the moment, again, crypto is moving up. So we see, again, more interest, which makes us extremely happy. This is definitely good for us because our vision overall is not only to be a broker, not only to be a crypto platform, or not only to be a banking provider or a payment provider. We believe that over time, and I'm talking about the future clients, yeah, I'm talking about millennials still, I'm talking about digital natives. They are all coming to the marketplace. They will have more income. They will have more purchasing power. They will refrain from using old school applications that are desktop based. They would like to have a super app, financial powerhouse, where with one account they can use everything that is relevant to finance. And if you're on finance, or if you're, you want to invest your money, you have cryptos, you want to make payments to friends or transact, but also you want to participate in the stock market. So our big vision for the next 5 to 7 years is to become really a home screen app for finance for the digital natives and the millennials, so the upcoming user base that is now learning the internet using TikTok and Instagram. And believe me, we haven't seen yet the big growth in the internet space as we've seen before, because they're all streaming to the marketplace. Every newborn actually, in the future will be interacting with the internet by default. Yeah, they do it. I see it on my daughter in school. They're even getting iPads. I mean, So that's basically what we do. Yeah. So we offer trading platform, we offer crypto platform, we offer payments platform. We will not find a similar platform like Naga. Everything works with one account, and you can just skip around these accounts and use it, which makes it very, very seamless and convenient. But again, Naga Pay and Naga X are new ventures that we launched last year, 2022, whilst the brokerage was our bread and butter business for the last years. So what is driving our growth? We grow when we have funded accounts, new people who come to the platform and deposit money, to trade. So the deposit figure is usually a very important KPI. Active traders, obviously, how many people are actively trading on the platform. The number of payment transactions, because we make money whenever somebody transacts with our payment platform, and the number of exchange deals, because we, as a cryptocurrency exchange, we make obviously money whenever people exchange their cryptocurrencies. So this is basically drivers. What is challenging in this business is customer acquisition costs. I will also discuss this a bit, because last year we've been having troubles and challenges with it, but I will explain as well why. Regulatory changes are coming up very frequently. You will see in this year, especially, that's our view, that there will be a lot of jurisdictions that you would never think of will be requiring more authorizations and licensing. So it will be a game of licensing and a game of regulation in the finance space, especially fintechs, because fintechs were focused so much on user experience and simplification. However, you need to become also an expert on the compliance side, on AML side, on KYC side. So you need to be really ahead of the curve and understand what is the next regulatory requirement that might affect your business. And this is where we are very, very active. Our compliance and regulatory department is one of the biggest of all, and we shield it definitely from any changes outside the company. It's very important that they are working with sheer focus and make sure that we are always ahead of the curve and getting right licenses in time. Customer churn is also a very important issue and topic. Retail clients tend to lose money while trading on the stock market. In any asset class on the financial markets, be it commodities, be it stocks, up to 90% loss rates of clients. So what does it mean for a business? You don't want your clients to lose, because they will not come back if they lose too often. It's absolutely clear, right? So what we do, for example, is we invest heavily in education, heavily. We have launched an own academy. We have launched an own Learn platform with Naga Learn, which is extremely important. We want people to stay as long as possible on the platform. And obviously, additional apps such as the payment app, such as the exchange app, prolong the lifetime value, because we spend quite a lot of money to get clients in, and we want to keep them in our ecosystem as long as possible. And market volatility. Market volatility is very important. Is there no volatility, then most likely trading will be flat. if there's a lot of volatility, trading will be active. And if it's active, we make more money. So that's something that is very important. This year, the volatility will be still extremely high. We have a lot of geopolitical issues. We have a lot of uncertainty on the markets. So the volatility shouldn't be a concern this year at all. And how do we make money? Most of the money is really done via the trading fees, because the trading business is our bread and butter, and it was for many years. Payments is coming now, and crypto exchange market making fees as well. So yeah, that's very important to see. We believe as well that the segments crypto and payments will build up over the next 3 or 4 years. We use it as well to acquire customers cheaper, to get them into the platform, to make them stay longer. But ultimately, at the moment, it is mostly the trading business that is developing and creating revenues for Naga. And trading income is not growing in a straight line. That's very important because of these issues where sometimes you have spikes in acquisition costs, sometimes you have volatility. So it doesn't mean, for example, when we make in 1 month 6 million euros or 7, that in the next month we'll make 7.1. Yeah, it might happen that it's a bit it's volatile as well in the revenue basis. So what we do, we really look at a 90-day snapshot, and we are confident as long as 2 of the below KPIs are growing, either the number of funded accounts, the net deposits after withdrawals, clients deposit and withdraw. But if the number of net deposits is growing, it's good for us. The revenue is growing, or the active accounts are growing. It's okay when we see that the active accounts are stabilized or a bit dropping, but we have a high number of new net deposits. It's okay if the net deposits and the active accounts are a bit lower, but the new funded accounts and the revenue is up. So this is basically how we navigate through. We see, especially in the last 6 months, very good metrics, a lot of health metrics that point in the right direction, which is extremely important for 23 because we had a very rough 2022. And you as shareholders, as I can see, again, here updated, 38% of you are shareholders. You have seen the development of the share price, right? So this is basically just an introduction. In the next webinars, I will not have that introduction, but for you guys, I think it's good to have, because I hope you will join the next webinars as well. So this is the core presentation. We will speak about the following. You look at 2022 a bit, yeah, because I think it's crucial, again, that you see our view on 22. We look at delays on the audit that we had, that's resolved, but I think that raised a lot of question marks, which I totally understand. 22 year-to-date performance and core KPIs. How is the company trading? Because December is part of 22, so we're talking a bit more about last month. A restructuring process that we have announced as well, why we're doing it, how it is going, product updates, and outlook and key takeaways for you. So where did we come from? That's very important. End of 21, yeah, this is our management rationale, right? So we raised quite a lot of money in 21. We had a bull market ongoing. Crypto had hit all-time highs. Nasdaq, Dow, everything at up, yeah. Facebook, fund stocks, I mean, Amazon, Google, Netflix, Microsoft, everything was at peak, yeah. There was a lot of money in the market. However, there was the issue already starting with inflation. And but this we couldn't see back then. Our view was it's going to continue. We had announced an IPO plan for 2022. We were pushing a lot on crypto, on the digital asset side. We've developed NagaX, NagaPay. We as management, it's very important for you also to know, we increased our shareholdings. We bought shares at 6 to 7 euros in average price as well, multiple 100,000 euros of our private money, because we really believe that everything is going into the right direction. However, there was an unprecedented crash in the equity markets. I mean, one of the worst of the last 50 years, which obviously affected the business we are in, investing. Investing is, the marketplace is the stock market. So especially growth stocks were under heavy pressure. We'll see also a nice peer group analysis in the next slide. And the investor sentiment from the institutional side went from growth, like revenue and growth, to profit very quickly. And I remember I had discussions with investors in 21 where they said, we believe that crypto will be a valuation driver. We believe that you should push more on revenue and profit can come later, etc. I mean, obviously you listen to this, you make your own decision, right? It's not that we are driven by investors, but I'm talking about sentiment. Sentiment has changed dramatically, especially after the war in the Ukraine broke out by the Russians, and where we have seen also crypto and the interest in crypto going tremendously down, because crypto was a great retail driver into joining the stock market. Crypto is the lighter form of being a stock investor. It makes you an investor into multiple assets. Nevertheless, this last year, we continued to grow our core trading business. Our core trading business has grown. Okay, so the revenues of the core trading business, they haven't grown much, but they have been growing, especially in the first 6 months of 2022. And we, in parallel, were investing heavily, I'm saying heavily, millions into Pay and X. Our view was, again, crypto, valuation driver for sure, payments, very important to offer one ecosystem. And we used most of our cash to do R&D and to complete our technology platform and invest into marketing and market share in that time, because we believed it's making sense. Yeah. So as a result, we developed over the year our entire platform suite. So everything is ready, everything can be used, and there is no further technology development in that scale needed. So our technology costs are dramatically going down already. You will see also how we decreased our cost base. And our focus shifted as well, together with the, let's say, shift in investor sentiment and our view. We said, okay, we need to change something here. After 5 months into the year, we understood very much it's not going to change. You might argue we should have seen that earlier, telling you a lot of companies were still keeping and hoping. We kind of did a very, very drastic pivot into, we have to change everything that we started. We had to also cut some projects, and we need to fully focus again back on the trading business. We need to decrease our costs heavily. We need to change our view. We need to deliver profitability to the market. Obviously, in that situation where you start this process, no one cares. People judge you by the stock price, and that's it. They see, hey, you started the year at 7, now you're 2. What's happening here? I don't care. You mismanaged. This is kind of an overview, but you have to stay rational as a manager in this this moment where we understood, okay, we just need to change. We stick to what we know, and we know better times will come. But now we have to just, completely understand and accept the change, which a lot of companies fail to do. In our case, we've been there before, so we knew how restructuring as a process works. So we want to turn the company profitable in the next 5 months from now on. We want to invest more in regulatory licensing, because we understand that this is the backbone of everything that will follow in crypto, in trading, in payments, etc. You will see a lot of companies struggling with not having enough authorizations and registrations of their licenses overall. And we still want to maintain a healthy growth year over year. How we're going to achieve that, you will learn that in this presentation as well. If we look a bit at the core peers, and this is 31st of December 2022, you see that unfortunately we're in line with the market. A lot of peers, a lot of companies, even the indices, everything crashed literally down. Yeah, it's always good to see. Is Naga the only company that didn't perform? No. If you look at Coinbase, you look at Robinhood, yeah, even one of our absolute peers, yeah, eToro, which has also social investing platform, had to cancel their IPO, which is an expensive exercise. I've read something around 150 million euros burned, but also Klarna as well as a fintech, because Klarna was always a nice lead in terms of how the fintech investors are thinking. You see them at 46 billion valuation down to 6. This is private market. You see Bitcoin and Nasdaq also leading the way downwards. So yeah, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I just wanted to tell you that our business was affected by also investors just pulling out of the general market. No matter what you were doing, they didn't care. They said, this is connected to this peer. I don't want to be part of it. I will come back later when things are better. And let's talk a bit about a bit unpleasant topic, but for everyone, because it was we had a delay in our audits, which I think also affected after the fact that the share price, not before, because the share price was moving downwards anyways. We had actually quite good news on our performance, but it doesn't matter because the market was completely smashed. But after the summer, we had to report that we have delays and changes in our numbers and figures. So there are two items that I try to explain from a I mean, I know all of the accounting standards by now. I didn't know them before, but I had to learn it in detail. It's IFRS, by the way. So there are two things. Number one, capitalized marketing expenses. From 2020 onwards, we were capitalizing part of our marketing expenses. How did it work? We had a specific way of acquiring clients where we had guaranteed deposits coming into the platform. First-time depositors, which you can activate as a activation of client relationship. Yeah, and the work on it, working with account managers on these full first-time depositors, was connected to the acquisition itself. Think about a telecommunication company. They're buying, for example, client lists, and they're calling the clients. The acquisition of these lists and the work on the client until he has a subscription or concludes a subscription, you can capitalize all the process. Yeah. And this was what we were following. And in 2020 was already confirmed, approved, etc. However, in 2020, for the 2021 numbers, in late 2022, in the summer, where we were actually close to finish the audit, our auditor back then, EY, we do not work with EY anymore, came up and said, we need to look into this again. I don't know why. We don't know why. Again, it happened that they had to revise it, but they went as far as looking at it, speaking to IFRS experts from the US, etc., whatever, I don't know, but going backwards in 2020, changing the 2020 numbers after 2 years, even though it was audited already, and then also saying that the approach that we were following in 21 cannot be held. So we had to basically adjust our numbers. It affected our EBITDA and net profit negatively. And on the other hand, Crypto Treasury, we were trading actively cryptocurrencies as a securities broker, as a market maker, late of 21, and also partially in 22. And here again, EY said very late in the audit process that they do not approve or agree with the way of us accounting for crypto trading revenue as revenue. So some part of the crypto trading revenue was shifted to the balance sheet, which is P&L neutral. So you don't have an effect on revenue and your cost base. But obviously, most of the trading revenue was supposed to be in the P&L, and it was taken out and moved into the balance sheet. So which led again to a decrease of revenue on the top line, and it decreased our EBITDA significantly. Hence, we had to report an adjusted revenue and EBITDA number, which obviously did not sit well with a lot of people, including us, because we were absolutely not aware that this might come up. So we had to ad hoc 2 times the changes, which proves once more that we've been absolutely caught there by surprise in a way before. So we did not know anything before that this should be like that. We had internal opinions. However, it is what it is. So we basically had a negative effect on the 21 reports, and investors weren't very happy, and us weren't also happy. But I wanted to mention it, that this has been resolved. Moving forward, obviously, we understand all of these effects. We're not planning with these numbers at all. We will be accounting for it as it was audited and also approved. We got a approved audit, so this was all clean and clear. However, this was obviously not good in the whole storm of crashing stock market, share price down, client activity down. And then on top of that, you have a delay, which makes investors, feel that they don't trust the management anymore. And we understand that. The only thing that we could do in this time is to focus, keep our heads down, and continue to work hard to bring the company to a better positioning and work to regain the trust in investors. So this is very important. That's what we're doing now. So let's talk a bit about the year 2022 and how it's actually developing. And if you look at, sorry for the typo here, if you look at the revenue build up, so we're still not finished with the final regular number, but it will be reported. You see revenue went up, but costs also went up significantly, especially driven by the first 2 quarters. Yeah, this is where in the middle end of the second quarter, we said it's not going to work well like this. We have to change the strategy because the market's not going to recover. The acquisition costs are not coming down. Yeah. So obviously you can see how we basically are decreasing. It's very important for you to know because this obviously is trending down now. The expenses, how we decrease them quarter over quarter now. What did we do? We improved massively the marketing expenses. We've been focusing much more on really efficiency in marketing. We had to let go of some people because we had NagaX and NagaPay as standalone projects. But in a market where everything is crashing down, you cannot invest further into projects that might not yield an immediate result. And we had to, as we said, we need to deliver profits. We need to generate positive cash flow, especially in this time where money is becoming extremely expensive and scarce. Not everyone wants to give you money in this day and age. Yeah, it's difficult, different than 1 year ago, where people were trying to deploy as much cash as possible into the equity market. And we focused much more on data and science. We have been much more focusing on converting more, getting more out of our partnerships, doing more with our client base, our lead base, because we have a lot of leads in the company and in the platform. And yeah, we also worked a lot on country reallocation. So that means that we spread out our wings to more countries to see which of the countries will really deliver better acquisition costs per client. Because I said one of the main driver is really the cost of acquisition. Yeah, and this skyrocketed in the beginning. You will also see how. So look at the average cost per acquisition. You see here we spent 1,600 euros per new client. This is an absolute peak. Why was that happening? End of 21, we exited the UK market. Yeah, there were obviously changes with the Brexit and our authorization, so we had to exit the market. We are at the moment working on re-entering it via a partnership brokerage in the UK. So this is also, I will speak about the outlooks. However, we had to reallocate most of our marketing budgets to other markets, and this spiked our acquisition prices as well. There was a war. The equity market's going down. There's no interest in crypto. And in that moment, we had to basically find where we can get the clients at a good rate. And it didn't work. I mean, it was such a difficult time for us. We were attempting, and it was extremely difficult. So you see it spiked up. But here we started restructuring. We cut off a lot of unprofitable markets. We changed a bit the team structure. We reduced the budgets. Yeah. And look what happened. So we're trending significantly down on the acquisition costs. You have seen as well, you can see in the trader value, which is the lifetime value of a client, where this was trending downwards. And here, when we made the change, obviously we had to cut off some more promising clients to relearn. And look what happened here. Immediately, we already have a very strong ratio now between acquisition costs and the trader value. So obviously you can say for 600-700 euros, they get a client, and out of these clients over 3 years lifetime will make 3,000 euros, which is a 1-to-5 ratio. This is a ratio where we want to be 1-to-4, 1-to-5. This is something that you can generate enough margin to run your business. And again, this is confirmed in 2023 as well. January is exactly trending. Even I can say already, you will see it in the next trading update. January shows very promising customer acquisition costs as well. So it's not just a one-time trend, but this has hurt us a lot. And also you see how the costs go down, right? But the number of new depositors went upwards, which is very important because you might think, okay, they are decreasing costs. They were not growing again in the business. But look here also in the monthly transactions. The end of Q2 was really difficult for us. And now everything trends upwards. Less costs, yeah, a stable trader value, then more first-time depositors coming into the platform, and also more transactions per client. So these clients are active. The client active base is around over 28,000, so which is now at the highest level we've seen for quite a while, yeah. And you also see copy trades. There were some changes in our copy system that we had to follow regulations. So, and then you see how the copy trades went up. I can also tell you that in December, copy trades were over 400,000 in that single month. So there is a lot of nice traction again back in our copy trading tool. For everyone who doesn't know, we allow people to copy other people on their trading positions. It's one of our drivers. It's a very regulatory compliant way also of copy trading. That's why we had to do a lot of changes here in Q1, Q2, which now started to work beautifully. And our trading volume also went upwards, and it's confirmed now in the past months. So in a nutshell, costs are down, the value of the clients is stable, new clients come and join more, and they're more active than before, which, if you do the math, should lead us obviously in short and midterm to much better results and at lower costs. This is what we want. And this is again to just confirm what we actually did, the whole process, right? And I want to tell you, we know exactly how restructuring works. In 2019, when Michael and Andreas and myself, we took over the company, share price was 50 cents. Yeah, it went over to 8 euros in 2 years. We know exactly how to change the strategy of the company. We are very flexible, we're agile, we're not scared. I think that's very important. That's we're still around. Yeah, I know that in the moment when things go south, people start criticizing the management a lot, but we are committed. We're invested. We are there from the early days. We work extremely hard every day. We understand the frustration, but we have a long-term view. We're not looking only in a single year. Yeah, we've been there already when it went up and down and up and down. I'm there from the start. So we are not here to exit it at some stage. We want to really move forward. That's very important. And also, if you look at it, in 2019, for example, we turned the company around and it was fundamentally not strong. Now we have a very strong product. I invite you to visit naga.com as well. We have a very, very strong product. We have developed a lot of technology that we can monetize. Yeah, and mostly this year's, last year's performance, 22, was affected a lot by the stock market as well. We have to say it was not only that we didn't, do it right or we did the wrong things. It just the change was too drastic. And we have seen so many companies being hit, especially in the crypto space, on the wrong foot. Yeah. So our core exercise right now in the last months is really to focus on our trading business, on the bread and butter business, as I want to mention it again, bring the acquisition cost down, whilst we keep the client value stable. Yeah, this is our prerogative now. We want to decrease the cost and keep the company at a sound level of high quality clients. Yeah, and to have a very controlled cost base and to overall generate positive cash flow delta on a monthly base. We assume we'll take a couple of months, but then we should be able to achieve that. Yeah, so we definitely will see that in the next 1 or 2 quarters because it takes a bit of time until it kicks in. You also have to see what happened here when we exited the UK market. The UK market was quite strong in 2021, 17 million, and and in 2022 was 0 because we exited the market. Europe grew from 2 to 26. This was expensive, by the way. That's why we also increased the cost. Our aim is to re-enter the UK market. That's something that has been talked about media-wise as well. When we achieve that, then obviously we would like to revive the market. We will definitely see a positive impact onto the business. That's definitely clear. We will continue to grow our European business. Long term, we want to also expand outside Europe. We've been granted the Seychelles license, a financial license that has capability on board a lot of countries around the globe with full banking and payment service provider solutions. So we definitely will see here more growth in the rest of the world over the coming years. Yeah. But here again, just to demonstrate you where we understood we cannot be in the UK. We reshifted the budgets from the UK to other markets in Europe, and then we grew it. But again, to make a 10x in such market conditions, it's expensive. Okay, so this is where we had kind of the effect on our cash flow, and we had to basically reallocate a lot of the money in a very difficult market environment. It's very, very difficult. That's what we experienced. Yeah, so this is basically a bit about the restructuring and the strategy and what really happened here in a nutshell. Naga had to exit UK, reallocate budgets, the market was crashing, investor interest was going down, acquisition costs spike up. Yeah, we are in full R&D mode, developing 2 new platforms. Yeah, running after them. Our trading business has difficulties to get more clients in. Yeah, clients churn more because the market is too volatile. The interest is dropping. You don't get the clients in. You spend too much money, and then after 3 or 4 months, you realize in management, we have to change that immediately. So you start changing to wind down crypto, you wind down payments a bit. I mean, you don't stop it, but you really decrease the team sizes. You focus more on profitable flow, profitable business, and then you start making these changes. And this is basically what we did. It took us 6 months. Now we see really good data, and we will continue doing what we're doing. Yeah, so also what I will do now is to give you a bit more in-depth product updates, just to see our rationale, how we think. Obviously, this might be a bit abstract for some of you because you don't use the product. Regardless, I will just give you a glimpse of what we're actually doing. It's just an insight. Here, for example, we have our platforms, Naga Pay, Naga X, and Naga Trader. This is how we operate, right? We have some specific things that we are selecting that we want to achieve. For example, we will have a brand new KYC module in Europe and non-Europe, a very innovative onboarding mechanism to increase conversion and the growth of new depositors. As I told you, one of the core KPIs are new depositors. So we need to get as much out of our marketing budget as possible. The higher the conversion rate, the less is the cost per new client, right? So this is basically why we worked over 3 months now, and it's released the new KYC. New payment integrations, TrueLayer, a direct banking method, Neteller and Skrill, also growing net deposits, yeah. Naga Capital go live. So we are preparing our go live with Naga Capital, growing net deposits, growing the business base, expanding into new markets in a regulated framework. That's very crucial as well. And we also will launch now a standalone trading database. Those of you who are using Naga as a platform, we use Autocopy. There's a lot of buzz in Autocopy. We have to improve our Autocopy performance a lot and overall trading performance. So we are launching basically a very modern new standalone trading database where all the trades will be indexed and the read and writing will be much faster. Naga Pay, we launched a cashback program, which helps customer acquisition, retention, and lowering the churn. We have a test app with buy and selling crypto with fiat, so you can immediately buy crypto with using your fiat currency. It's basically, you know, a new business and fee generator for us, up to 6-7% fees on each transaction. And we will be prepared and ready when the real interest in crypto starts to pick up again. Referral program will be launched, a very nice one for Naga Pay as well, to lower customer acquisition costs and have higher customer retention by people referring other people. And also in Naga Pay, there are different programs. We have the standard program, the pro program, and now there will be an elite level as well, where you get higher cashbacks, higher withdrawal limits, and you pay a bit higher fees. So basically, this is one part that will be done as well. And ultimately, Naga X basically has an automatic hedging desk now. So whenever we have people trading crypto with us, we directly can forward it to a bunch of market makers, fully automated, that supports us on the Naga Pay app as well, because the Naga Pay app is integrated with Naga X. And you know, the proofs risk management, customer journey is much easier because you can immediately settle your cryptocurrencies against any other cryptocurrency, and we make more money with it. And we had a lot of compliance upgrades because, you know, there's a lot of things happening in the AML KYC movement around cryptocurrencies where we also have to develop. Yeah. So outlook and key takeaways. The outlook and key takeaways are the following for you. So we as Naga management, we want to focus fully on EBITDA. We want to cut our costs. Yeah. We want to launch Naga Seychelles, and obviously we want to also have an institutional desk for clients. We really want to grow our profitability over the next year and this year. So you will be definitely seeing us working much more on profitability, expanding the existing user base. Yeah, the UK will play a role. We had a lot of clients there, but obviously we need to see how that will work out on a regulatory framework then once we're there. And we believe also that the Seychelles license and the expansion into the new markets, such, for example, Brazil, for example, Thailand, etc., with a regulated framework will be much, much better for us and drive more profitability. Yeah. So obviously, the key takeaways for you is that we, as Naga, we are a very young company. We have a very high sense of innovation. We've developed really, really good platforms. We've developed a lot of technology. We also have a very long vision. Again, you should know that, because we want to be the one that offers all the services in a regulated framework under one roof. We've been part of the fintech wave, absolutely, in 21. Everyone was really bullish. We were part of the exciting companies. We still are an exciting company, but we will be definitely not only a CFD or brokerage provider. We are expanding into the markets that I've said. Crypto will come back. Payments will be very relevant for millennials to have everything in one solution. You will see NagaX and NagaPay growing. I will start reporting for you from next month onwards the numbers on Pay and X as well, so you see our growth trajectory. And again, to recap, we did a big change, a big pivot in terms of how we look at the business, how we conduct our business, how we look at marketing costs. We optimize a lot our flow. We grew Europe by 10 times in a very difficult market environment. We would love to now reactivate UK as well this year. We want to make sure that the marketing stays where it is, it's efficient, and that we will slowly and steadily turn the company into a profitable waters. Yeah, so that's basically one of my closing statements, that you should know what's our goal for 23 after a very rough 2022. However, we see so many good developments that, yeah, this should be absolutely achievable. That's our view. So first of all, thanks all for your attention. So I see that I am now 50 minutes in, 45 minutes, that was my goal. In the following days, this webinar will be also recorded and uploaded, right? And we will translate it into German, because I know there are also some German shareholders here. And we will have it available on our website. So now what I will do, I will read out a bit the Q&As that we received. Okay, so first of all, there is a question: what is the strategic rationale behind the merger? Will the other company's ecosystem be integrated into Naga's, or will it be the other way around? I cannot disclose too much detail about the transaction or what's happening. However, what you could think of is Naga is very much known for its unique technology in the brokerage space. So if you are running a brokerage, then you definitely know that Naga is standing out with its products and with its technology. So that's one part. And if you have another company joining, then most likely as well looking for improving tech, for example, yeah, and using technology as well. And what we are looking at usually, why we would be talking to someone is, for example, licensing, size, etc., right? Or a strategic powerhouse, basically, to accelerate the company development. That's why you do this. Yeah, I've seen also questions about why at these valuation levels to discuss mergers. We're not looking only in the snapshot right now. We're looking at long term. What is long term best for the shareholders and for us as a company? And if you look in long term, then you need to see what's really helping for the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, what can help to achieve your goals faster? And this strategic transaction make a lot of sense. And I'm very sure once we have more information, you will agree with us, because we wouldn't do it easily. And we had already a lot of interest in the last years where we weren't interested, but this time it was really something to look at. When will you restart the strong marketing campaigns again? The second part of 23, any plan for sponsoring football teams? I love the sponsorship of Sevilla. It gave great visibility. We agree that this was very good for our branding. It was also good for the overall development of the company and the brand. However, it was expensive. And in these market conditions, I think we will be much better off by making sure that everyone sees that we efficiently can acquire clients and create consistent revenues and a profitability profile. Then when the markets come back, where the sentiment is a bit better, and then when the cash flows build up, or when we just have more money available, then we would be very happy again to promote Naga more above the line, because we are a retail brand. And next time we'll do it maybe even more efficiently than before. So yeah, we will definitely be interested. But at the moment, I think the best service we can give to the company and to our shareholders is to demonstrate that this company has an innovative backbone, but can make money. And I think everyone would agree with that, because burning money or chasing only growth without providing enough bottom line, I think this is not being appreciated by the markets and by the big investors as well. While your focus is navigating such difficult market, are you still focused on product development is a question. Yes, absolutely. I think that, on the one hand side, the restructuring is ongoing and it's in flight, but product development is not stopped. We improve a lot. That's why I give you also these product updates, right? So there's a lot of stuff happening, but the focus of our product development at the moment is improving the core KPIs, rather than trying to find something new that might in the future bring value. So every product release that we work on and every feature that we work on at the moment is really, can it help me growing the deposits? Can it help my conversion rate? Can it decrease customer acquisition costs? So these are the questions that we're asking. We're not saying, is this something that no one has? Is this something that might bring us more clients in the future? We want to have it right now. We want to improve right now. And I think this is, again, the best use of our money and investing. When we build technology, we still have around, like 3 million to 4 million euros a year in technology expenses, right? So we want to invest in the right way to improve the current flow and operations. And I think this is the most crucial part at the moment. What is the reason for the foundation of Naga Seychelles? So Naga Seychelles is a regulated, it's a license for providing regulated services in the investment space. And you have seen maybe a lot of brokerage platforms, they were using only unregulated companies and were providing services. And this will come to an end. It will stop. So a lot of companies who are not taking now care of getting a proper licensing or regulation, providing services to markets where you actually have to have an authorization, will get into trouble. They will just shut them down. And obviously, in our view, we've been proactive. We have identified Seychelles as a great venue to do this. And that's why we are shifting basically our global business to the Seychelles, and we'll be providing in an authorized and regulated manner services to the right markets. This also will help us to grow our partners business more. This helps us to get more clients into the platform, gives more trust, better banking and PSP, payment service provider solutions. So ultimately, higher profit as well for Naga with the same activity that we were doing before. What are the benefits of Naga Pay? So Naga Pay, you can think of an all-in-one platform, from a banking card that you get, from a Visa card, that you can go to the ATM, do point of sale transactions, etc., online transactions, whilst you use directly the same app to invest into the stock market. We have 1,000 assets. Imagine you have a Visa, and from the Visa you can invest in 1,000 assets, and you can use the crypto wallet, which is integrated as well. You can exchange your cryptos. You can pay with crypto on the point of sale if you have half a Bitcoin in your Naga Pay wallet, which is, let's say, 10,000 euros now, or let's say you have 0.05, 1,000 euros in Bitcoin. You can directly buy your flight ticket. You can buy ice cream for your kids, or you can, go to the next soccer game and pay with Bitcoin. The same way you can buy with your Visa card immediately crypto and sell crypto and load it on your Visa card. This is all in one, basically, umbrella. And I can also release actually a bit more of a product video for Naga Pay. If you ask me personally, and I'm here 8 years, right? I've developed a lot of stuff. Naga Pay is the best app we have in terms of usability and user journey, whilst Naga Trader has the most complex technology I've seen so far. But from just the simplicity standpoint of getting users in, automatically verifying them, giving them the service of investing, giving them the service of cryptocurrencies, staking, conversion, etc., and making payments to friends, and have an own bank account and a Visa card, I mean, you won't find such depth of features in one app. And this will slowly be exposed to the people over time, because the business model starts to work very well. It's a transactional business model, right? The more transactions you have, the more fees you generate. And I believe that we will be having a lot of fun with NagaPay. And again, I welcome you to get NagaPay. Are you planning a NagaPay Elite tier to become a big deal? Are you planning to be a competitor to Crypto.com? I would say definitely yes. I think Crypto.com has shown how big you can become in the market space. I think we have the same tech stack that we can achieve. And I'm very confident that the features that we will have now in the next 1 or 2 months of NagaPay will match the ones that Crypto.com has in its core, for sure. Okay, so these were the first 7 questions. I will go now here in the Q&A box as well, because there's a lot of questions. I will keep answering them. There's a lot of questions around the M&A transaction. Yeah, what's the strategic rationale, product and geographic focus, and why we would do this at a depressed share price. We look at it a bit differently than because this is now a snapshot discussion, right? For us, we look at, again, at a strategic rationale is definitely to expand us faster than being alone, especially when you look at regulatory licensing. When you, for example, you want to enter the US, yeah, or you want to enter, I don't know, Australia or other markets, or New Zealand or whatever, you need to always get a license, right? It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And you need to develop the market, you need to localize the market, you need to go in the market, and also to develop the client base. This is a timing question. Can we do it ourselves? Yes. Can we do it faster with a strategic partner? Absolutely. And I think this is basically what we're looking at. Yeah. And we wouldn't make any transaction that is not beneficial for the company and the shareholders. So, and for us at this stage where we are with our technology and when we're looking at the changing market landscape, we are very confident that this will help us a lot and significantly accelerate the development of the company. And I think this is the core that everyone's looking at, right? I mean, because we are long-term invested ourselves, we have long-term contracts, we will remain on long-term contracts. For us, it's a beautiful opportunity to become really, really big, to stay listed on the stock exchange and expand much faster. I mean, for us, it's a beautiful concept. And we believe it will work. And that's why we're pursuing it. Will you be providing a recording of the webinar to the attendees? Yes, we will, absolutely. And we will also translate it. We'll be using some AI tools. I'm very curious. There's also a question. I understand that when a trader closes a CFD position in losses, what the trader loses, what you gain. How much of your earnings are from those gains? It's not really like that all the time. I mean, we do have a book where we hedge trades. So we mostly make money from swaps commissions, and obviously, this is, of course, CFD providers can make money from client losses, but most of the time you have swaps, you have overnight fees and commissions that you're earning, copy fees. There's a lot of variety, and you cannot say that exactly this amount is only always from those gains. Yeah. So then why you changed your auditor from EY to a local Berlin-based company? This doesn't look so good. Thank you. MSW is our Berlin auditor. They do a lot of scale companies and smaller companies, and they're very, very good. They have a very strong team that work at the Big Four. You can ask me or other companies as well in smaller caps that a lot of auditors are having issues with resources. And I think also our audit delay was happening because of resource issues at EY. This will not happen in a smaller audit firm. It has the same quality standards, by the way. And I would argue that it has to be always a Big Four. Of course, we've been looking around, and from an efficiency perspective, and from the results that we'll get, it's the same quality of work. So for us, not a concern. We want to get the audits done in a good and proper way. We want to have them in time. We don't want to be victims of resource issues, as I said, of the big ones. And if you try to also get audits now as a fintech and dealing with cryptocurrency and payments, it's just more difficult to engage with the Big Four. That's the truth, especially in Germany. So why should we stick to names if we want to deliver the right results for everyone to create the transparency that's needed? to have audited figures, because ultimately they follow all the standards that they have to follow. It's not less of a quality. So yeah, I don't think that the brand name is so crucial at the moment. And unless we have right numbers and right timing provided to you guys, then this is the core outcome that we're looking at. That's basically most of the stuff. Some very product related questions that are there, that we had some issues with our copy trading, for example. Yeah, we agree. We had some, like generally there was a lot of load. That's why we launched a new trading base database. We also work on a lot of features that will improve the copy trading experience a lot. So this is what we're doing constantly. Yeah. And that will definitely improve the performance, because there's a lot of interest in the platform. So we had 60% of our copy trades for copy trades in December. So there's a lot of scalability happening in this kind of product, department, I would say. And this is where we are kind of focusing a lot to improve. With the new trading database being launched now, we'll improve a lot more, and with the features that we're doing as well. But overall, it works. It's just in very, very high volatile times, it might be having some issue, but most of the time, the success ratio is extremely high. So if you had issues, I have to say what a lot of people would say: contact our support, explain it, and then it should be resolved. But overall, we are aware, and we're improving the platform constantly. At this moment, after restructuring efforts and dealing with the audit, what is the main risk threat keeping you up at night? I think really the major risk or threat is really just keeping the acquisition costs in at good levels. This is something extremely important, that we keep being disciplined on our strategy, that we don't get too much distracted by what's happening around us or short-term investor interests. I think, to be honest, it happens like it happened 21. We should have been a bit more focused on ourselves rather than being too much, surrounded by what's happening in the market. And I think a lot of CEOs and management boards will agree that, it's always best if you just focus on what you know, what's happening inside the company, and that investors obviously have a good idea, but sometimes their view is too short-lived. Yeah, I've seen it many times where people investing very excitingly in the company and exiting super quickly. I mean, which investors that you actually over time wouldn't like to have. You would like to have people that join your journey, that understand your product. Yeah, because I had sometimes investors calls, and some investors, they didn't know after investing what we're doing, and which is difficult. It's absolutely difficult. And I guess, what really keeps me up at night is to make sure that we turn the company into profits, and to make sure that we acquire the right clients, that we are ahead of the curve with regulatory changes. That's very important. That's why we also, for example, switched now to the Seychelles, because you might have read the news that companies like St. Vincent or so, they are now conducting changes as well in the if you offer services in the unregulated market space. So it's very important to have the option to switch, which we have. So these kind of things, and make sure that the product just works good, and then clients are happy, because ultimately clients have a lot of confidence in our platform. Then it's beautiful, and we'll have more active clients, we get more deposits, we make more money, and we keep our efficiency levels, which is extremely important. Is Apeiron still in the shareholding base? This is not clear from your website. Yes, they are. Will you offer European clients the possibility of high leverage? Yes, when? No, absolutely no. Do you work on your software bugs, copy trading, wrong missing copy bonus? Absolutely, yeah. So this is what I mentioned with the trading database in the presentation. I think this is a major improvement because there's so much traffic in the platform and so much activity that we need to work on it. And we know that there were performance issues, and I've seen also here in the Q&A that auto copy is a topic, and we are very well aware. We also hired 2 more engineers only for that will be working now. The team is like 6 or 7 people only for that feature, full time, of senior engineers, which is quite a lot for us. So you can be sure that the performance will increase a lot, that there will be also more filters. There will be also more handling of traffic. I promise that. So in the next 1 or 2 months, you will see a lot of improvements, and we are very much committed to make sure that the software works because it's unique and it's very much demanded. I'm very happy about it, but we need to make sure that everyone is happy with the service. The clients that you lost to the UK are already with other competitors. Why should you be able to regain them? Look, I still believe in it. That doesn't only pertain in the UK market. I think as a general part, Naga is a unique platform. Other providers have only boring interfaces, are having all the same offers. We are the most diverse. We have the most features. We have the most unique concept in the market. No one offers what we offer. And I know that clients want it. I know that when we left the UK, a lot of clients were seeking to return at some stage, but that's a different topic. Ultimately, people love our product. Once they are in, they stick. So this is very important. And this makes us extremely confident. So we will remain on the track that we have. If you look at Naga, you sign up at Naga, you will find that we have everything you need. Of course, we are still adding new assets because I see, for example, a comment that Nasdaq 500 couldn't be traded. These suggestions, I take them in, I'll speak to the team. We will always try to offer as much as possible and to be as pragmatic as possible as well in terms of, that we don't overdo it. Yeah. But I guess everyone who can, use Naga and has a good experience will always come back, and we will definitely outcompete a lot of other platforms. By paying a bill with crypto, is it not inefficient? No, I believe that, if you have your crypto wallet immediately and you can directly pay with it, and the platform covers the whole process of exchange and settling, etc. Obviously, you would pay your fees yourself, right? So why don't you just pay it with us and we make it more efficient? I think if you really try other crypto exchanges on a retail base, they charge you too much. And NagaPay has a great offer and gives you a lot of convenience where you can invest immediately and exchange your cryptos into goods. So for us, it's a user experience factor, and people are happy to pay for it. Hi, Ben. Thanks for the update. Can you tell us who is the direct competition? I think direct competition is eToro. So eToro is definitely one of the major competitors that we have, the biggest in the space. We're looking at platforms, of course, like Trade Republic, because obviously they're only, but they're really big. They only have the direct investing. They don't have copy trading. They don't have the crypto wallets integrated. They don't have the payments functionalities. However, on the trading side, they're definitely a competitor. We look at Crypto.com. We look at Flatex in Germany, of course, and that's basically where we're looking at. That's it, actually. I think I answered everything. We have the Q&A session of 30 minutes. If there's anything else, I welcome you to send me an email as well to ir@naga.com. I'm reading it, IR, for investor relations @naga.com. Again, this will be recorded. This will be published. We will translate it into German. And the next trading updates will be a bit shorter, maybe a bit more interactive because I had to explain everything. I'm very happy that you joined. I've seen a lot of participants. I'm very proud of that. I hope you appreciate it. As a last statement that I can give to you is we are extremely happy with the recent months of how we cut the costs. We have preserved client growth. That's very important. We keep to improve our platforms. We have finished NagaX and NagaPay last year, so we're just now working on vertical innovation, would I say, like more features inside the platforms. We're extremely happy where we are going with, and we want to turn the company profitable in the next months. So we hope you're part of us. We hope that you join the journey, that you also share our beliefs and our commitments, because we are definitely still extremely bullish. We are not, deteriorated by a year where everything went down. We were part of it. It's fine. We have our heads high, so we will definitely push. We're fully committed. And with these words, I release you to enjoy your Monday afternoon. Thank you so much for everything. We'll see each other in 1 month. Bye-bye.